Meet Cheryl Yates at ERA Liberty Realty. With over 30 years of experience, Cheryl provides each of her clients with the best level of customer service, along with helping families with the next phase of their life. The buying and selling process comes natural to Cheryl, as her understanding of the housing market allows her the ability to answer any questions that may arise. With offices in both Jefferson and Berkeley counties, she works hard to ensure the outcome you deserve. Cheryl is the key to selling or buying your home.
Having a family dinner, cookout, or company event and don't feel like cooking? How about you let HG's Barbecue and Soul Food Catering handle all your catering needs? We have everything from smoked meats to soul food sides, everything made from scratch just for your event. Please contact us at 816-438-1101 or visit our Facebook page at www.facebook.com HG's Barbecue and Catering. We gladly serve the Eastern Panhandle and DMV areas.
Juwan is the ultimate hype guy. I love him. He's always positive. He's always pepping them up and firing them up.
Parker, work, Parker, work, Parker, work, 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 work. Good evening. This is Akeem Holmes from Home Team Sports TV. My co-host, Ryan Miller from Wildwood. And the cameraman, switcher, Mr. Do-It-All, Harry Brown. We're at the Spring Mills Cardinals High School, where we have the EPAC matchup with the Jefferson Cougars, ranked number 1 in the state, versus the 14-7 Spring Mills Cardinals. Ryan, this is a matchup that is near and dear to your heart as you coached at Spring Mills before you came to Wildwood, and you also coached and helped develop a lot of the kids from Jefferson High School. What is something that you see in this matchup and knowing these kids and knowing the communities that's very important to either community to get the victory today?
Well, first things first, I think it's great to see how far Spring Mills has come. As starting from the ground up, I was here the first year they opened, and basically we didn't have a senior in the school. It was just basically a JV team playing on the varsity level. So to see how far they've come, setting a school record this year in wins has been great. And then obviously to see some of the guys that I coached and coached against at Jefferson, who's having a fantastic year, having an undefeated season so far, it's really exciting to see the matchup. And I know a couple kids are going to take the matchups against each other personally because they played together and played against each other since they were really young. So it's going to be fun to watch.
Yes, especially Keyshawn Cheek and Jamari Jenkins, the two freshman phenom point guards. And they're two players that we look forward to watching over the next 3 to 4 years. Yeah, for sure. Two talented kids with bright futures. That the ceiling's about as high as it can get for both of these kids. And they've been playing together and playing against each other for a long time. So it's just definitely going to be a fun matchup to watch. So we also would like to thank our sponsors. Without them, this would not be possible. So this game is sponsored by Cheryl Yates of ERA Liberty Realty. The phone number is 304-261-6109. For all your realty needs of buying and selling a home, please contact Cheryl Yates at ERA Realty. We're also sponsored by the player of the game, DK Rankin of Modern Realty Results at 304-707-4922. HG's Barbecue. Let us handle all your cookout and catering needs at 816-438-1101. And Neil Powell at Goose Hill Insurance. Stay in the game with Neil for all your insurance needs. You can contact Neil at 202-431-6896. So getting back to the game, Ryan, we spoke about Keyshawn and we spoke about Jamari. And there's some players on both sides that are missing, but one big name who is actually going to be my player to watch is the 6'4" lanky freshman Caleb Thomas. How much does that impact Spring Mills tonight?
Well, the first things first, I mean, he's our second leading scorer, the leading rebounder, so it's going to be interesting to see what they do to try to get over those losses. Obviously, we don't really know what's going on with Caleb right now. We don't have any information. We just saw him not dressed and not warming up. So it's going to be interesting to see, one, who they put in the lineup. Do they play some guys some more minutes? How their rotations are going to work, and how do they try to just make up those deficits and those losses that they're having?
And if you guys know Ryan, and I know Ryan from obviously my son playing. He has scouting reports, detailed, in-depth scouting reports on every team that he plays. So not only does he care about his own kids, he does that to help others as well. And Ryan came up with the scouting report today, and he let me know, hey, Spring Mills has won 4 of his last 5. So they come into the game hot. Like, what can they do in this game to stay hot and compete and possibly pull out a victory versus Jefferson team that obviously has not lost a game yet this season?
So the first thing I think that Spring Mills needs to do, I mean, if you've watched Jefferson all year, they like to get out and transition and push the ball. If Spring Mills can limit live ball turnovers, ones that lead to run outs and kick out threes for Jefferson, I think that's the biggest thing that they can probably do. The next thing they got to really make sure to do is find a way to get Keyshawn Cheek not just points, but let him create for others. If they can get him downhill, get into the paint, make Jefferson's defense collapse and get it out to the Davis kid on the wing, that'll really help. And now with Caleb out, who else steps up? Somebody's gonna have to step up. It can't just be Keyshawn tonight. It's got to be somebody else as well.
So I'm guessing just from watching the games that it would have to be Max Anderson, but obviously we won't know until they announce the starting lineups. But the freshman Max Anderson has been the 6th man for Spring Mills this year, and he's scrappy. He's a scrappy individual. He's undersized. Obviously at this point in time, he's not the size of a Caleb Thomas, but he brings that energy and heart that can will you. It can honestly impact the team. So I look forward to seeing what Max does tonight. So that will take us to our next. Ryan, who are your players to watch for both teams tonight?
So especially with Caleb Thomas out now, the matchup I'm looking forward to most, and maybe it's because I played point guard and coached against and then coached this other young man. I can't wait to see Keyshawn Cheek and Jamari Jenkins go at it. These are two kids. I've said all year I think Jamari Jenkins is probably Jefferson's most important player. I think he maybe not their most talented right now because he's only a freshman, but he's what makes them go. He slows them down when he needs to, speeds them up when they need to, and he's smart. He gets them into their sets. And Keyshawn is just Mr. Do Everything for Spring Mills. They feed him the ball. Most of the sets they run are for Keyshawn, and especially with Caleb out now, the ball's going to be in Keyshawn's hands a lot. So seeing those two go at it all night is really going to be fun.
I have enjoyed watching Jamari shoot the mid-range. He's so quick. He attacks the basket, and he stops on a dime, and he has a very lethal mid-range jump shot that I've actually enjoyed watching him develop. It reminds me of a little bit of an old school game, like a Gary Payton, that style point guard, and Mark Jackson. Maybe a little bit more quickness than Mark Jackson, but those types of point guards. My favorite point guard growing up was Chauncey Billups.
Okay.
I just love to see that physical point guard who wasn't afraid to take it into the paint, go in there with the big man and cause issues. So my two players to watch, now that Caleb Thomas was actually my player to watch before the game, but now I'm going to switch it to Max Anderson to see what impact that he may be able to bring for a full 32 minutes. And for Jefferson, it's Cameron Johnson. As Keyshawn Johnson is a Mr. Do-It-All, Cameron Johnson has that ability as well. And I spoke to Cameron on Saturday about, the importance of being a big man but still learning how to dribble, still shooting like three-pointers, and not letting the West Virginia big man impact his game. And he told me what he would tell kids that are tall is embrace your role, but always work on your handles and your jump shot. And we can tell that Cameron has done that. because not only does he get the rebounds, he brings the ball down the court, and he can pull up from anywhere, and he's productive. So that will wrap us up for our initial pregame. We will go to a commercial break, and when we come back, we will have our starting lineups.
Meet Cheryl Yates at ERA Liberty Realty. With over 30 years of experience, Cheryl provides each of her clients with the best level of customer service, along with helping families with the next phase of their life. The buying and selling process comes natural to Cheryl, as her understanding of the housing market allows her the ability to answer any questions that may arise. With offices in both Jefferson and Berkeley counties, she works hard to ensure the outcome you deserve. Cheryl is the key to selling or buying your home.
Having a family dinner, cookout, or company event and don't feel like cooking? How about you let HG's Barbecue and Soul Food Catering handle all your catering needs? We have everything from smoked meats to soul food sides, everything made from scratch just for your event. Please contact us at 816-438-1101 or visit our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/HG's Barbecue and Catering. We gladly serve the Eastern Panhandle and DMV areas.
Juwan is the ultimate hype guy. I love him. He's always positive. He's always pepping them up and firing them up.
Come on, Parker, work, Parker, work, Parker, work, 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 work.
Coming in at 18-0 overall, 9-0 in the region. Coming into Spring Mills' house, it was 14-7 overall, 5-4 in the region. Just won 4 of their last 5. Leading into the sectional matchups that will happen next week.
And the thing about it, we got the EPAC seedings actually yesterday, and Spring Mills is 14-7, 5-4 in the region, but they were ranked 3rd by the coaches. So they have to travel to Martinsburg, who has been playing very well over the last few weeks. But I know that is a tough draw for Spring Mills to not be able to host that sectional game and have to go into a very difficult environment in Martinsburg to potentially pull off a victory.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think Spring Mills has been the more consistent team all year. Certainly Martinsburg's been playing a little bit better lately, but I would have had it the other way around, but that's one thing about the voting and the way it is. You never know what's going to happen. So.
And, those seedings impact, multiple things. Like, we talked about it when you were in school, being ranked 3rd in the state and end up getting a 4 seed in in your region. So it's always open to interpretation. And sometimes we don't necessarily agree, but, Martinsburg definitely has been playing good ball lately, so.
Absolutely.
We'll see. Now, right now, we're having our announcements, and Ryan, I'm interested to see, who's going to take Caleb's place in the starting line, but it looks like it's going to be Max Anderson.
Yeah, I think you hit that one right on the head. It's going to be Max Anderson, the freshman coming in. we'll see how he can step up and kind of slide into Caleb's place. I don't know if you can replace Caleb's energy and obviously his points and rebounding, but if Max can do a good job getting him a little bit back, that'd be big.
And his length.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're going against somebody like a Cam Johnson, the last game, Caleb had a lot of good chase down blocks, and he made it difficult on Cam. So you can't teach height.
Nope.
You can't teach 6'4" as a freshman. But Caleb, we hope that you get well. We can't wait to see you playing again. And unfortunately, the viewers don't get to see one of the better young players in our area play tonight.
Right. Yeah, it is unfortunate. I was looking forward to watching Caleb play. But I'm interested to see who steps up on the glass for Spring Mills more than anything. I think it'll be Jalen Franklin, who's second for them in rebounding. But when a guy like that goes out that's averaging 6-7 rebounds, it takes all 5 guys now that got to go scrap in on the glass. So it's going to be interesting to see how Spring Mills kind of adjust to that a little bit.
And that's one thing that I liked about Jefferson is everyone rebounds. Everybody rebounds. Everybody takes the physicality onto themselves. Where there's not a player out there for Jefferson that you see and you say, you know what, they don't play tough, they don't play hard. All these kids play hard, and they all play with an edge. And it's that edge that, someone who grew up in my time, you appreciate it because that's the edge that we had as kids. Right. And it was lost for a while, but I think now we're getting it back.
Right.
So right now we will go to our national anthem, and we'll be back in a second.
From smoked meats to soul food sides, everything made from scratch just for your event. Please contact us at 816-438-1101 or visit our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/HG's Barbecue and Catering. We gladly serve the Eastern Panhandle and DMV.
We're back. Spring Mills, where we have the Jefferson Cougars versus the Spring Mills Cardinals. This game is sponsored by Cheryl Yates at ERA Realty. You can reach her at 304-261-6109 for all your realty needs. So, right, it's the excitement in the building. We have Cameron Johnson going up to one of your players to watch, Mr. Franklin. The ball is quickly off. Jamari Jenkins and Bryson Fleming with the turnover.
You see Jefferson already trying to play fast right off the tip. That's how they're going to be all night. It's going to be fun to watch.
And Austin Davis is a player that if you leave him open, he'll hit that three. So you got to be careful with him. Spring Mills with a good ball movement. Keyshawn Cheek to Max Anderson. Back to Keyshawn Cheek. Cheek guarded closely by Jamari Jenkins. And the ball knocked out by Cameron Johnson. So Jalen Franklin and Caleb Robinson had good games last time. I'm interested to see how Caleb handles his emotions. Last game he got a little bit emotional. I see a couple of bad fouls. But, with the energy and the passion of the game, that tends to happen at times.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. You got to definitely control yourself, and in a big game like this, sometimes it's a little bit tougher than others.
Max Anderson The ball stolen by Cameron Johnson to Bryson Fleming, up to Deion Taylor. Deion Taylor pulls it back calmly and gets the ball to the point guard, Jamari Jenkins.
I like that. Settle things down, get a good bucket right off the bat. Good pass by Cam.
And the finish by number 23, Bryson Fleming. Jefferson with a 2-0 lead. Bryson Fleming he's been a big pickup for Jefferson this year. I mean, he's starting now that Will Shabley's out of the game. He's a 6'1" physical presence, rebounds. He's active. Now, what's your opinion of Bryson Fleming?
I think he's definitely what Jefferson was kind of missing the last couple of years. He doesn't mind not scoring. You know, he just gets after it on the defensive glass, on the defensive end in general. And you need that unselfish kind of glue guy if you're going to go far. And he's really, like you said, he's really been a big boost to Jefferson this year. That's great hustle right there by Deion Taylor. Deion
Taylor, Mr. Go, go, go. The kid is so athletic, so fast. And right here, right there is what Spring Mills misses without Caleb Thomas.
Absolutely. Cam Johnson just flew in there over everybody and just was able to tap that one back in. And who knows if that happens with Caleb in there.
And number 23 fits Bryson. He reminds me of Draymond Green. He's that type of ball player. And like you said, Ryan, every team needs that individual who, you know, is unselfish. He doesn't care about being in the newspaper. He doesn't care about how many points he scores. He just makes impact plays to win. And that's why he's, honestly, I've said this multiple times. You guys are probably going to say it before I end up saying it. But he's my favorite player to watch for Jefferson High School.
Yeah, like you said, that's so key to a team. We kind of had that this year in Tykeem Drake.
Yes.
He just kind of did a little bit of everything for us. He rebounded well for his size, played good defense, settled us down when we needed to. And those kind of guys are really what make you go. Jefferson in a little bit of a zone, not in their full court man-to-man yet, trying to run around and trap some places. They'll match up once they get across half court, I think.
And I think they try to make it hard on Keyshawn as a freshman, showing him some different looks. See if they can make him uncomfortable. Keyshawn Cheek at the top of the key to Austin Davis, to Jalen Franklin. Back to Caleb Robinson, to Austin Davis. Great defense by Jefferson. Jalen Franklin with the pump fake. He goes in strong and blocked by Deion Taylor. Up to Cameron Johnson.
Good pass.
And Johnson loses the ball off his hands. I think Cameron was worried about potentially stepping out of bounds. So he looked down before he caught the ball. And it was a turnover. Spring Mills quickly breaks the press. Keyshawn Cheek up for three. And he may go to the line shooting three.
Could be wrong, but if they got that first one on Jamari, I believe that's 2 already, so that's going to be bad. Not that Jefferson doesn't have guards, but you don't want your point guard getting 2 fouls in the first couple of minutes like that.
And, you know, Jamari had 2 fouls in the first quarter of the Buchanan Upshur game.
Yeah, sometimes as a freshman you tend to be a little too active, too aggressive right off the bat. He's got to learn that, you know, Jefferson's much better with him on the floor. And,
yes.
You know, when you make hopefully a state championship run as they're going to, you got to have him in there. So, like that one right there, if I found a 3-point shooter, if Jamari was still on my team, we'd be having a little bit of a talk right now. He knows that. So,
and this is a conversation I've had with the co-hosts, you know, of games I've broadcast, and it's something, Ryan, that you can attest to as well. You know, at Wildwood, we've had this conversation. Free throw shooting, you know, like just we have kids that go to the line, and as point guards, you play point guard. You know the importance of being able to shoot free throws. Right there, we saw the freshman miss 3 straight.
Yeah, I think that's a little bit of nerves out of him. Obviously, we know Keyshawn's a pretty good free throw shooter, but as a point guard, you want to be up in that 70-80% range, and you know he's got to work a little bit harder at the line because he's going to get fouled a lot, especially with how control he is, how much in control he is of the offense. So he's got to be a little bit better.
Yeah, and that's the man right there, Austin Davis, and we said that before. If you leave him open, that 3-point shot is automatic.
That's a good take right there by Keyshawn Cheek. He's really good. Keyshawn, he's a right-handed kid, but he really likes to get to his left hand.
And he's built like a man already.
Absolutely.
He's already strong. So I enjoy watching Keyshawn play. Jamari Jenkins to Cam Johnson, to Jaden Gladney in the corner, guarded closely by Max Anderson. Gladney takes Anderson out to Bryson Fleming for 3. Misses badly. Rebound by number 4, Caleb Robinson. Keyshawn Cheek to the basket. foul call on number 23, Bryson Fleming, will send Keyshawn Cheek back to the line. So the game started out looking like Jefferson was comfortable in control of the game. A quick three-pointer by Austin Davis and a strong move to the paint by Keyshawn Cheek, and Spring Mills has a 5-4 lead right now.
Yeah, sometimes as a coach, one of the weird things is like you jump out to an early lead like this, but then you kind of get complacent a little bit. Closeouts become a little more lazy. You don't quite box out as hard, and teams get right back in the game, and that's definitely what happened. And you knew Spring Mills was going to have that being the, in their home stadium. So it's going to be interesting to see if they can keep this energy up.
Yeah, and they actually have 4 points that could be on the board right now. Their star point guard has missed his first 4 free throws.
I'd like to see Keyshawn get his feet around a little bit. He's lined up kind of towards the baseline, towards the corner of the backboard rather than towards the rim. That's something you got to work on in the offseason a little bit.
Yeah. He's 0 for 5 for the free throw line right now.
Nice little flare screen set for Deion Taylor. Down screen. Big shot by Cam Johnson.
For 3! Splash! Cameron Johnson for 3. Cam has a quick 5 points for Jefferson. Jefferson's up 7-5. Almost steal by Deion Taylor. Nail stolen by Jaden Gladney, and a foul by Caleb Robinson will be Spring Mills' first foul of the half. And that's what we talk about Cam Johnson, 6'5", soft touch. We haven't seen that much from a big man in a long time, and I can honestly say I think we've seen it a little bit with Chet Gore this year as well.
Yeah, he did. Chet has a really nice inside-outside game. He obviously doesn't have quite the athleticism that Cam has, but one thing Chet has that's a little bit underrated is his post game.
Yes.
He really showed that off towards the end of the year, and being a 6'4" kid already, Chet's got real potential as like an all-state caliber player due to his shooting ability as well.
Yes, sir. And that's what happens when you have a tall kid that doesn't just push himself to just being in the paint. You become multifaceted, and it's hard to stop a multifaceted big man. Austin Davis for 3.
Can't leave him open. If he gets his feet set and catches it, it's going to be 3 points.
Austin Davis has been lights out shooting the 3 this year. And I said it in the pregame. If you leave Austin Davis alone, he's going to hurt you.
Yep, absolutely. They've done it twice. Jefferson's kind of just falling asleep over there.
Spring Mills up 8-7 right now with 3 minutes and 50 seconds left in the first quarter. Wyatt Shively up to the scores table.
I'd like to see Max Anderson be a little more aggressive there. He looks a little bit timid. Caught that ball at the elbow with no one really around him and just looked to pass it out right away.
Caleb Robinson attacks the basket. His shot is deflected by Cam Johnson. And a strong finish by Jaden Gladney. Jefferson takes the 9-8 lead. But Spring Mills is doing a good job of breaking this mini zone press that Jefferson has right now.
Yeah, they have great spacing in their press break. They're really stretching the floor and making Jefferson stretch with them. That's opening, freeing up their guards a little bit. They're not getting rattled with the false pressure that Jefferson kind of makes. Jefferson really wants you to pick it up in the backcourt so they can spread out and deny. Spring Mills has done a good job preventing that.
Jalen Franklin attacks the basket and a foul by number 23, Bryson Fleming. And once again, Jefferson's issue, if they have one Achilles heel, is fouls. They tend to get themselves in foul trouble on a consistent basis, and that's something that they're going to have to fix if they plan on making a state title run.
For sure. And playing the way they do, it kind of lends itself to a little bit of that. You're running around trapping. I'd like to see him maybe reach a little bit less. I always tell my guys we're going to steal passes, not dribbles. And I think that they could, if they did that, it would keep them out of foul trouble a little bit. I mean, you already got 4 and you got 3 minutes left in the first quarter. You don't want to keep putting these guys on the line. You want to make them score in the course of the game.
And fortunately for Jefferson fans, Spring Mills has not made a free throw. They're 0 for 7.
0 for 7.
But unfortunately for Spring Mills fans, you think about it, you put those 7 points on the board and you're up 15-9 right now.
Yeah, and you can tell Coach Sample's reaction. He's a little bit frustrated. But as a coach, free throw shooting in a game, there's not much you can do. You can just work on it in practice the next day. But during the course of the game, you just tell your guys, relax at the free throw line, take your time.
And Ryan, a stat about you that many viewers might not know is you have won 49 straight games. Jefferson is in a position right now where they've won 18 straight games, and they feel comfortable. They feel confident. But you're talking about 14 to 18-year-old kids, and Cam Johnson misses both free throws. How do you keep your kids from being complacent?
So The one thing we did, and it started actually with Jamari Jenkins his 8th grade year when we started that undefeated streak, we knew we were going to be heavy favorites in a lot of games, so we set mini goals for our own team and tried to match those during the games. Maybe it was holding people to a certain number of points per quarter, maybe having a certain number of assists or rebounds or something like that. But really, the main thing for me is I just try to remind my guys, when you're undefeated and you have that 0 in the loss column, you get a target on your back. And every game somebody's playing you is like the championship game for them. So you got to bring it every night and match. I always tell my guys, you got to match the energy and then exceed it. So, and I think Jefferson has lacked that a little bit right now. Spring Mills has come out with a lot of energy.
Yes, because this has definitely been a better first quarter than the last game, Spring Mills. And I think, to the Jefferson fans on this broadcast, you would like to see them pick their energy level up a little bit.
For sure. And you can tell even like running back after dead balls and stuff, Jefferson they're not quite settled in yet. It might take a quarter for them to get settled. And we talked about this pregame. This game, it matters, but it doesn't matter because the sectional seeding is already out. So no matter what happens in this game, everybody knows where they're playing next week and who they're playing against. So maybe that's part of the reason that Jefferson's come out a little bit sleepy. He has not, however.
Splash! Cameron Johnson for 3. And Ryan, one thing I will say, though, for Jefferson is they don't want to get complacent. Because if you think about it, it took Jefferson up until last week or maybe 2 weeks ago to get that #1 ranking. And Morgantown already had 3 to 4 losses. So they can't afford one loss because one loss to them is like 4 losses to another school.
Yeah, absolutely. And that part of the reason, and it's the unfortunate part of being in the Eastern Panhandle, separated from some of those guys down in the state that do that ranking. It's not Jefferson's fault, but some of the teams that they've had to play in the Eastern Panhandle this year, their record hasn't been as good as it typically has been in the past. You have Martinsburg sitting around 500. Hedgesville's not quite what they have been, and due to some injuries and stuff like that. But it's not really Jefferson's fault, but you just got to battle through it.
Yeah. And that's that's a situation that we hope with the future and scheduling that more teams are willing to travel up to the Eastern Panhandle. We'll be more willing to travel down to the south so that our kids can get that exposure. Spring Mills 0 from 9 from the free throw line in the first quarter.
And Coach Samples is really getting frustrated down there. As a coach, there's not much more of a helpless feeling you can have than watching your team go 0 from the free throw line. That's for sure. Can't shoot it for him, though.
You can't shoot it for him, but unfortunately, Ryan, it's an issue with a lot of kids.
You're right. 100% right.
A lot of kids can shoot 3-pointers, but they can't make a free throw.
You're right.
And that's something that I hope to see change over the next few years. Kids, get to the free throw line, practice at home. It's not always about shooting 3-pointers. You want those free baskets, and those are free points.
Absolutely. Nobody's guarding you. You got to be able to put those in the rim. That's a great block by Cam Johnson.
And the thing is, Ryan, all it is repetition. You go outside, it doesn't take anyone to be outside with you for you to practice free throws.
Nope. Like you said, it's just repetition. Free throws is all mental. Can we get some reps? And can you go to the line and relax? You see a little bit of a force there.
Caleb became a little bit over-aggressive on that. But he's a tough ball player, and you would like to see a player become a little bit aggressive in a situation like this, in a close ball game, than a player that shies away from the situation.
He's done a really good job handling the press up top and everything. He's been playing well.
Deion Taylor to Cameron Johnson. Johnson to Wyatt Shavley at the top of the key.
Action from Jefferson getting into their flex stuff right here.
Darian Massenberg pulls up with the mid-range. He misses. Wyatt Shavley with the chase down rebound. And a tie-up with Shavley and Keyshawn Cheek. And it will be Spring Mills ball.
Those are the long rebounds right there that Spring Mills is definitely going to have to get control of if they want to hang in this game with Jefferson, especially with Caleb Thomas out.
And, and being, a former player, I think you watch games like this. And strong basket by Keyshawn Cheek. He attacks the basket. He finishes strong. Jefferson will end the first quarter 12-10. We'll take a quick commercial break and come back with our first quarter analysis.
With over 30 years of experience, Cheryl provides each of her clients with the best level of customer service, along with helping families with the next phase of their life. The buying and selling process comes natural to Cheryl, as her understanding of the housing market allows her the ability to answer any questions that may arise. With offices in both Jefferson and Berkeley counties, she works hard to ensure the outcome you deserve. Cheryl is the key to selling or buying your home.
Having a family dinner, cookout, or company event and don't feel like cooking? How about you let HG's Barbecue and Soul Food Catering handle all your catering needs? We have everything from smoked meats to soul food sides, everything made from scratch just for your event. Please contact us at 816-438-1101 or visit our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/HG's Barbecue and Catering. We gladly serve the Eastern Panhandle and DMV areas.
This game is sponsored by Cheryl Yates of ERA Realty. You can reach her at 304-261-6109 for all your realty needs. Contact Cheryl Yates at ERA Liberty Realty. Ryan, a thought that I didn't get in before the end of that first quarter is typically, you watch games like this and you see the underdog, not taking advantage of opportunities, and sometimes the game can get out of hand. Spring Mills coach has done a great job of keeping his kids in the ball game. What other adjustments can they make to keep this game close?
Other than making free throws, of course, which that's a tough one. They're doing a decent job right now of keeping Jefferson out of transition. Got to keep him off the offensive glass as well. But I think you got to keep letting Keyshawn attack the rim and freeing up Austin Davis on the outside. He's shooting it lights out, so the more shots he can take, the better.
Jamari Jenkins with the steal, but he steps out of bounds. The ball will remain Spring Mills ball. A little bit more pressure with the trap in the backcourt. Is a beautiful pass by Keyshawn Cheek up to number 5, Jarrell Casey, but the ball's off his hands. The ball will go to Jefferson.
Yeah, if he just catches that ball, he's got Austin Davis wide open in the corner where he's already hit 2 threes.
You have to be aware of Mr. Davis. He reminds me of an ex-player you had, Connor Myers, last year.
Yeah, he was a great spot-up shooter, similar to Austin. And he just does a lot of little things. Like you see him talking on defense right now. Maybe not the greatest athlete, but a good communicator and a good shooter. That's hard to replace on the team.
Jalen Franklin taps the ball away from Wyatt Shively. Rebound by Keyshawn Cheek. Quickly up the court. The score is 12-10. Jefferson with 7 minutes left in the second quarter. Jamari Jenkins covering Max Anderson. I think with 2 fouls, you see that they've taken Jenkins off of Cheek.
Yeah, and especially when Darion Massenberg goes in the game, that's his role, being a defender. So I think it's smart that they put him on Keyshawn. See, those are the kind of buckets you need if you're going to hang around with like Spring Mills.
Yeah, Spring Mills has missed a lot of opportunities. Jamari Jenkins up for 3. He misses. Wyatt Shively battles for the rebound. He tips it out. Rebound by David Haynes to Darion Massenberg. Back to Jenkins. Jenkins sets it up to Wyatt Shively. To Cam Johnson, he attacks. The underhand scoop. Misses. Rebound by Keyshawn Cheek to Caleb Robinson. To Austin Davis. He pulls up for 3. Splash!
They got to keep getting that kid the ball. That kid's shooting the lights out right now.
Austin Davis for 3. Spring Mills with a 13-12 lead. Austin's a sharpshooter.
Yeah, for sure.
Wearing number 22 like J.J. Reddick.
Yeah.
The Spring Mills fans chant defense as Jamari Jenkins breaks down his defender for a quick and easy 2.
One of the things that makes Jamari so special is his change of speed and direction at all times. And when he gets going one way and stops on a dime and gets right back to full speed going another, that's really hard to guard.
He's so shifty.
Yes, absolutely.
And his feet are always under him. You rarely see
never
him
off balance. You're right.
lose balance. And then travel by Jalen Franklin from Spring Mills.
Coach Craig Hunter over there calling the travel.
Craig Hunter of Jefferson High School football team. This year, Jefferson boasted a 9-2 record. They went 9-1, actually 10-2. They went 9-1 in the regular season, won a postseason game before losing to Bridgeport in the quarterfinals.
Great year for Coach Hunter. He kind of vaulted this whole thing this year with Jefferson.
He set the tone.
Yes, absolutely.
He set the tone for the basketball team. David Haynes for 3.
That's a good rebound.
And Jalen Franklin, he gets up when he gets the rebound.
He does.
He gets the ball at his highest point, and he makes it hard for maybe a undersized big to get those rebounds. Caleb Robinson with the ball at the top of the key to Jalen Franklin.
One of the things Spring Mills is doing on offense, they're trying to use Jalen Franklin at the high post to relieve pressure. You'll notice he'll step out every now and then when guys get in foul, when guys get a little bit of pressure, so he can help them reverse the ball. It's really smart by Coach Samples.
Franklin with the ball at the top of the key. He attacks the basket. He turns the corner, up and in. Jalen Franklin with the strong move for his first 2 points of the game.
We thought he would have to pick up the slack for Caleb Thomas being out. He's certainly done that so far.
He has. Jamari Jenkins with the step back. He misses off the back iron. Rebound by Spring Mills. Caleb Robinson. Robinson brings the ball up the court to Max Anderson. Back to Robinson. Spring Mills has played a very mature game. They're not sped up by Jefferson's pressure. They're playing very calm, collected, and they got the 15-14 lead right now.
Yeah, one of the things that I talked about pregame was them limiting live ball turnovers, and they've done that. Whenever they have turned it over, it's been out of bounds or violations where Jefferson has had to stop, walk the ball down the court, and set their offense up. So that's been key to Spring Mills.
And sometimes when you are missing one of your better players, you get a spirited effort from other players. And now you have a collaboration. Guys, sometimes you got to slow down when you speak. Collaboration of players that are playing very hard. They're playing with a very strong spirit. And right now they're leading the number 1 ranked team in the state, 15-14, without, unquestionably, one of their best player. If it's not their best player, he's their second best player.
Yeah, absolutely. And everybody stepped up. Like even Max Anderson, who's not going to pop on his stat sheet right now, but he doesn't have any turnovers. He's done a good job reversing the ball. And Max, if you notice on the defensive end, is just following Jefferson's best player, whether it be Gladney or Cameron Johnson, whoever's in the game. He's just denying him all over the court. So an effort like that, you can see me picks him up at half court right now.
And Spring Mills misses their 10th straight free throw.
Yeah, that's got to be really frustrating for Coach Samples. You put a game plan together like this, not expecting to have to do it. Talk about free throws, but they're still in the lead. This is definitely a positive thing for Coach Samples for sure.
Jalen Franklin with the floater. Spring Mills went in 17-14. Jamari Jenkins calms everyone down. He spreads them out. Deion Taylor pulls up for 3. And the silencer, splash by Deion Taylor for 3. 17-17, Jefferson. Spring Mills breaks the pressure. You would like to see Austin Davis put a little bit of pressure right there.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I'd be okay if he just pulled up on that when the kid hasn't missed a 3 when he's taking it yet. So just set your feet and let that one fly if you're Austin Davis.
Spring Mills, this cautious approach has caused the game to stay close with Spring Mills leading for a small portion of the game. But you want your kids to be aggressive because to beat the best, you got to take it. It's like a heavyweight boxing fight. You're not going to win a decision with the heavyweight champ.
Right, absolutely. One thing, Spring Mills has certainly got to slow the game down, but when you have opportunities to attack, especially a team that presses, you need to take those opportunities and try to get some cheap buckets.
Jamari Jenkins to Bryson Fleming. He pulls up for 3. He's off the side of the rim. The ball out of bounds off Keyshawn Cheek. So, fans, we have a 17-17 score, a low-scoring game, especially for Jefferson, with 2 minutes left, 2 minutes and 27 seconds left in the second quarter.
Yeah, I'll tell you, this is exactly how Spring Mills wants this game, though. If this game stays in the 40s, it certainly helps Spring Mills out. Jefferson wants to get up in the 70s and 80s. Spring Mills wants to play that slowed-down game.
And this is a continuation of on Saturday's game. Jefferson didn't shoot the ball relatively well. They only made 4 3-pointers. And I think this game they might have 2.
Yeah, Spring Mills has done a good job limiting Austin Davis again. It's his first miss of the night, I think, Keen.
And every shot he shoots, you think is going in.
Absolutely. He's one of those type of spot-up shooters.
He has a very soft touch. A strong move by Cameron Johnson, and he misses.
I tell you, Jefferson's missed a lot of those bunnies right around the rim that's kind of let Spring Mills hang in this game. So, of course, Spring Mills has given a lot of free throws away.
For both teams, beautiful pass by Austin Davis to Jalen Franklin for 2.
Austin Davis is having a great floor game right now, not only the shooting, but doing the little things that matter as well.
Yes. And what I was saying is there's things that both teams have done to keep the other team in the game. Cameron Johnson for 3. We're waiting for the foul call to see if that 3-pointer will count or if it will be an and-one situation.
This is going to be an interesting call by the officials because it's all about when that ball left Cameron Johnson's hands, and that's tough to see with no replay. We're going to count the bucket, though.
So a foul on number 14, Jalen Franklin. So it will be a three-pointer for Cameron Johnson, plus Jefferson will keep the ball or they will send someone to the line.
I believe they're going to get the ball underneath here. They should, unless they deemed it. That foul certainly wasn't committed against Cameron Johnson. That foul was called all the way on the other side of the court, so it's going to be interesting to see what they sort out here.
So, fans, we're trying to see what is being done before we let you guys know the decision, but it looks like Jefferson will get the three-pointer and the ball.
Yeah, so it looked like what happened there, Keem, is Max Anders is trying to deny Jaden Gladney. So when the shot went up, he didn't know the shot went up, so he's trying to hold and deny a little bit and got caught.
So this is a chance for Jefferson to not only take the lead, but it also extend the lead at the same time. Deion Taylor with a step back. He misses.
Tough shot.
Rebound by Jalen Franklin. You would like Jefferson to get a better shot right there. That's not the shots you want to take on a situation like that. And a strong move by Keyshawn Cheek for two.
I tell you, Jefferson's really got to make an adjustment. They got to keep Keyshawn Cheek from getting to his left hand because he's really strong when he can get to it.
Yes.
Great hustle by Deion Taylor.
Deion Taylor with a strong move, strong rebound, and strong finish. And think about Deion. Deion can make a bad play, but he typically tends to get it right back.
His hustle as a coach is what makes up for some of those bad plays. When you got a guy flying around like that, you're willing to live with some of those where he makes a mistake.
As we
just
see
like
that steal right there. He's a great athlete. Jaden Gladney pulls up for three. He misses off the front iron.
Been off tonight. I think them
Rebound by
denying
Jalen
him
Franklin.
kind of rattled him a little bit.
Yeah.
That's a big call, Keem, because that's going to be 3 on Jamari Jenkins right before half. And it puts Spring Mills on the line with a chance to take the lead going into halftime.
So right now we have 18 fouls for Jefferson and three team fouls for Spring Mills. So we will have Keyshawn Cheek, who right now is 0 for 7 from the line, going to the line to shoot a 1-and-1. And he misses.
Still can't get one.
Ryan, at what point does that get into a player's head?
It's already in his head. Once a guy like him who can obviously shoot free throws pretty well, when you start missing, it just becomes a mental. It kind of wears on you a little bit, and instead of going up with confidence, you start thinking about, I don't want to miss another one, and that's the last thing you want as a player.
And Jefferson Johnson pulls up for three, and he misses. At the half, we have the Jefferson Cougars 22 and the Spring Mills Cardinals 21. But the big thing at the half, Ryan, is Jamari Jenkins has 3 fouls.
It is. He got his 3rd foul right before halftime. It's going to be interesting to see how they come out in the second half with that.
We'll go to a quick commercial break, and we'll come back with a halftime analysis.
Meet Cheryl Yates at ERA Liberty Realty. With over 30 years of experience, Cheryl provides each of her clients with the best level of customer service, along with helping families with the next phase of their life. The buying and selling process comes natural to Cheryl, as her understanding of the housing market allows her the ability to answer any questions that may arise. With offices in both Jefferson and Berkeley counties, she works hard to ensure the outcome you deserve. Cheryl is the key to selling or buying your home.
Having a family dinner, cookout, or company event and don't feel like cooking? How about you let HG's Barbecue and Soul Food Catering handle all your catering needs? We have everything from smoked meats to soul food sides, everything made from scratch just for your event. please contact us at 816-438-1101 or visit our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/HG's Barbecue and Catering. We gladly serve the Eastern Panhandle and DMV areas.
Juwan is the ultimate hype guy. I love him. He's always positive. He's always pepping them up and firing them up.
Parker, work, Parker, work, Parker, work, 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 work.
Welcome back to Spring Mills. We're at the half. The Jefferson Cougars leading the Spring Mills Cardinals 22-21 at the end of the first half. We want to thank our sponsors. First, our sponsor, Cheryl Yates of ERA Realty. You can contact her at 304-261-6109 for all your realty needs. Our DK Rankin, Modern Realty Results Player of the Game. You can reach DK at 304-707-4922. HG's Barbecue at 816-438-1101 for all your cookout and catering needs. And our sponsor, Neil Powell at Goosehead Insurance. Down home insurance. Stay in the game with Neil for all your insurance needs. You can contact Neil at 202-431-6896. Ryan, right now, the game has played out a lot different than the first game. But you would anticipate that with great coaches, like a coach like Spring Mills has, and a coach like Jefferson has and Richard Lewis. Like, who's standing out for either team that you've been impressed with in the first half?
First off, Austin Davis has done a great job leading the Cardinals with 9 points. But really, I've been impressed with Jalen Franklin. I think he's really picked up the slack. Yes. He's controlled the ball. And he's kind of, like I said, they're putting him in the middle on offense, and a lot of times the ball's getting funneled to him, and he's able to relieve pressure and find those open guys and open shooters, not to mention the work he's done on the glass.
And when you have someone working on the glass like Jalen, and you have a shooter shooting at the high level of Austin Davis, it makes it hard for a defense because when you're pressing and they break the press, and then you see Austin Davis over in the corner, all you can say is, oh no, and just watch that shot tickle the twine.
Yeah, and it really makes it difficult when you got a guy like Keyshawn Cheek that likes to get to the rim like that, because then you really have to make a decision. Do I help and try to stop Keyshawn, or do I leave 3 points open? And Austin Davis has only missed one shot, so it puts the defense into a big-time predicament.
And for Jefferson, who was a player that stood out for you?
Definitely Cam Johnson. He's leading the Cougars with 11 points. He's kind of done everything like he's done all year for them. He's shot the ball well. He's been big on the glass. The one thing I have noticed, they're kind of taking away Jaden Gladney a little bit. They're denying him everywhere they went. I'd like to see Jefferson maybe use him as a screener more to try to free some of those other guys up. They got plenty of shooters. If they can use Jaden as a screener, they're knowing they're not going to help on him. I think it can free up some open shots.
Yeah, and when you have a team built with shooters, unfortunately, one of the things with being a shooting team is you're going to have off nights. And you still have to find a way to win the game when you have an off night. And luckily, Jefferson's defense has been pretty tough. Well, and thank you to Spring Mills also being 0 for 12 from the free throw line.
Yeah, that's really allowed Jefferson to hang around, quite frankly. If Spring Mills just makes just half their free throws, they're up double digits at this point. A couple missed layups and some unnecessary turnovers that they've had if they were just doing the little things. And I know how frustrating that is as a coach, so I can only imagine what Coach Samples is saying in the locker room. But really the floor game, the game plan doesn't change too much for them coming out in the second half.
Yeah, and unfortunately, you want to be playing your best ball by playoffs. And Jefferson, the last 2 games have not been playing their best ball. So you would like to see some growth in the second half. But it's also Spring Mills. Spring Mills has also attributed to this. So we'll go to a quick commercial break, and we'll come back to finalize our halftime analysis.
Meet Cheryl Yates at ERA Liberty Realty. With over 30 years of experience, Cheryl provides each of her clients with the best level of customer service, along with helping families with the next phase of their life. The buying and selling process comes natural to Cheryl, as her understanding of the housing market allows her the ability to answer any questions that may arise. With offices in both Jefferson and Berkeley counties, she works hard to ensure the outcome you deserve. Cheryl is the key to selling or buying your home.
Having a family dinner, cookout, or company event and don't feel like cooking? How about you let HG's Barbecue and Soul Food Catering handle all your catering needs? We have everything from smoked meats to soul food sides, everything made from scratch just for your event. Please contact us at 816-438-1101 or visit our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/HG's Barbecue and Catering. We gladly serve the Eastern Panhandle and DMV areas.
Juwan is the ultimate hype guy. I love him. He's always positive. He's always pepping them up and firing them up.
Parker, work, Parker, work, Parker, work, 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 work.
Spring Mills High School, where you have the #1 ranked team in the state in a battle with Spring Mills. Score is 22 Jefferson, 21 Spring Mills. My name is Akeem Holmes with Home Team Sports TV, with my co-host Ryan Miller and the cameraman, Mr. Do-It-All, Harry Brown. We have a good one, Ryan. We have a good one, and let's transition to a good one tomorrow, where we have the Jefferson High School girls facing off with the Washington High School girls, and they will face a star-studded freshman duo of Lexi Adams and Mary Rivera.
Yeah, for sure. Washington reminds you a lot of the Spring Mills team a little bit, with a lot of your better players being freshmen and trying to carry the load. It'll be interesting to see how they go into the environment, going into Jefferson in a playoff atmosphere. It's going to be interesting to see how they handle that.
And I know Coach Smith will have Jefferson ready, and it's just definitely, you can follow that game on Home Team Sports TV tomorrow. Just like and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Home Team Sports TV. We're here to stay. We're here for the community. We're here for everyone, and we welcome and we thank you guys for allowing us into your homes. So we will have Spring Mills with the ball coming out, down 1. And you have to come out of the locker room for Spring Mills feeling good, knowing that, hey, we hit these free throws in the second half. We could come out victorious and get a big win. And that big win can catapult you going forward to the playoffs. You can get this win over Jefferson, a team that hasn't lost yet. It might be able to catapult these young freshmen to a state championship. Actually, let me slow my roll. A state appearance. And at that point in time, anything can happen.
Yeah, there's not too many sports that momentum helps you quite like basketball. So a big win like this tonight could really carry them in going in to play Martinsburg next week with a lot of confidence.
And we see the adjustment with Jamari Jenkins having 3 fouls of Deion Taylor covering Keyshawn Cheek.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised Jefferson didn't go to that from the very beginning. I think Deion, being a little more physical, experienced player, I would have liked to see him on Keyshawn from the beginning. But they did what they did, and Jamari's just going to have to play with foul trouble. He's going to have to handle it at different points in his career anyway. So this is a little bit good for him.
Yes. And Max Anderson with a strong move, and he misses. Rebound by Deion Taylor up to Cameron Johnson. He shoots hard off the backboard. Deion Taylor with the rebound, he misses. Strong rebound, and he sets it up. You would like to see Cam go up a little stronger on that. But Deion Taylor with the beautiful move, and he misses the layup as well. Rebound by Cameron Johnson. The ball is stolen by Jalen Franklin. Keyshawn Cheek with the ball.
I'll tell you, as much as Spring Mills is kind of beating themselves up on the free throw line, Jefferson's missed a lot of bunnies around the rim that could have really separated and put this lead at, maybe double digits at this point.
Yeah, and you would like to see your 6'5" big man finish that.
Especially as athletic as he is. I tell my guys, just go up like you're going to dunk it every time. Because 9 times out of 10, you're at least going to get fouled on that. That's a great spin move, just no finish right there.
A great spin move, and Bryson Fleming falls down. And when you see a player fall down without really being touched, you automatically, have a little bit of sigh of relief when you see him get up.
I think he got his foot stepped on there a little bit. Keem, I was talking to you about this pregame. The way Jefferson's going to guard this inbounds is really interesting to me. I saw it on film a little bit. They put Cam Johnson, 6'9" and long, in front of the ball and basically dare you to throw it into the corner so they can go trap it right away. But you can't fall asleep on the backside like that.
And Jalen Franklin for 2. Spring Mills takes the lead at 23-22. Jalen Franklin with his 8th point of the game. Jamari Jenkins attacks. Out to Deion Taylor for 3. Splash! Deion Taylor for 3. And Jefferson takes a full timeout.
Cardinal basket was made by number 14, Jalen Franklin.
With Home Team Sports, we'll go to a commercial break.
Liberty Realty. With over 30 years of experience, Cheryl provides each of her clients with the best level of customer service, along with helping families with the next phase of their life. The buying and selling process comes natural to Cheryl, as her understanding of the housing market allows her the ability to answer any questions that may arise. With offices in both Jefferson and Berkeley counties, she works hard to ensure the outcome you deserve. Cheryl is the key to selling.
We're back at Spring Mills High School, where we have the #1 ranked team in the state, Jefferson Cougars, in a battle with a very talented and youthful Spring Mills team. 25, Jefferson 23, Spring Mills. And Ryan, we just spoke about, how the last game can impact the next game. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so we were talking a little bit in the commercial break. Jefferson beat these guys by 43 last time. Now, it was on their home floor, but a blowout win like that, sometimes when you come into this game, and again, we talked earlier, sectional seedings are out. This game doesn't really matter as far as that goes. So I think Jefferson came out a little bit thinking that this game was going to go the same way, and it's cost them just lack of focus stuff, missing shots around the rim and falling asleep on the inbounds. That's uncharacteristic for Jefferson this year that they've been doing this game.
And it's hard to get that back in game.
Yes. It's once you come out flat, it's a whole lot easier to come out with energy, and then you can kind of quiet that down or settle that down as the game goes on. It's harder to pick the energy up.
Yes. So we'll see if Jefferson can play not their best game and still pull out a victory, or Spring Mills and a talented, great pass by number 14, Jalen Franklin. Number 4, Caleb Robinson for 2.
Jalen Franklin is playing one heck of a game right now. He's done a little bit of everything for Spring Mills.
He's only a junior, so.
Yeah, they don't have a senior on the team, so it's going to be interesting to see how Spring Mills kind of uses this season to catapult him into next.
I'd
like to see Wyatt Shively take that up a little bit stronger. He's a strong kid. He finishes well inside. Just go a little bit stronger, go off 2 feet in there, go towards the rim a little bit more.
And Wyatt being an undersized big, he has to embrace being physical.
Absolutely. And he uses his body well. Last year he didn't get log a lot of varsity minutes, and he's been playing more, especially with his brother Will out. So something that I think he'll learn, and something that they're going to need from him as they go on to the state tournament, hopefully.
And I think this game also speaks to
a beautiful
spin move by Wyatt Shively.
And that's the kind of stuff that Wyatt Shively can do. He's got great footwork for a big man.
He does.
And he's going to really keep improving. He can shoot it from outside. He does a lot of nice things for this team.
He does. And I think there's also a testament to how important Will Shively is to this team as well.
Yeah, for sure. With Jefferson struggling to score a little bit right now, Will's certainly a guy that you can kind of throw it to that can go get you a bucket, just like this kid right here.
Number 4, Caleb Robinson for 2.
That was a little bit of a force by Jamari Jenkins. I'd like to see him just settle things down. In a tie game, go get a good shot there.
And a foul on Cameron Johnson will send Keyshawn Cheek to the line to shoot 2. Let's see if Keyshawn made the middle adjustment at the half. Left the first half alone, come back out here and produce and knock these shots down.
Yeah, one thing I would have done if I was Coach Samuels at halftime, and maybe he did this, I would have pulled Keyshawn to the side and said, listen, this first half is done. You know you're a good free throw shooter, and like he just proved right there, I mean, that ball barely touched anything.
And he makes the first. Spring Mills leads 28-27. And he makes the second. That's
the sign of a player with a lot of mental toughness right there.
Yes.
Got to bounce back. For a freshman to be able to do that speaks highly about Keyshawn going forward.
And that's what I was about to say. He's a mentally tough, strong kid, and I really look forward to watching him play over the next 4 years. Jaden Gladney with the miss. Rebound by Jalen Franklin to Keyshawn Cheek. Caleb Robinson, at the top of the key, being guarded closely by Cameron Johnson. He crosses over. He attacks to the basket to Austin Davis, to Max Anderson. Back to Caleb Robinson. The cross-court pass to Jalen Franklin.
They missed Austin Davis in the corner right there for a three-point shot. Jefferson really's extended their pressure out now, making it difficult on Spring Mills.
And Spring Mills is content to slow this game down and keep the game, like you said, in the 40s.
Yeah, absolutely. This plays right into their hand a little bit. They're going to try to keep going and get a layup right here.
And you really don't want to see your big man out covering a guard. But Wyatt Shively only picks up his second foul. Jefferson's second team foul of the half.
I think Spring Mills is slow it down offense. They're kind of running this 4-high set with Jalen Franklin at the high post to relieve pressure. I think that's bothered Jefferson a little bit. Jefferson wants to get up and down with this game only not even in the 30s yet. That's kind of frustrating them, I think.
And it's also going to force Jefferson to do something that they're not really used to and be patient. They want to set Jefferson up by maybe forcing a foul by being impatient.
Jefferson's going a little bit of a zone right here, I think. Yeah, they might look to trap out of this a little bit, get some rotations. If I'm Spring Mills, I'm trying to get a little penetration and get Austin Davis on the wing for a shot right here.
Yes, and Austin Davis for 3. Splash!
That's exactly what they did there, King. Got the ball to the high post. Got a paint touch, kick out to your shooter. That's beautiful offense right there by Spring Mills.
And Spring Mills is playing a very good game. Good pass by Cameron Johnson to Bryson Fleming, and one.
I'll tell you what, man. Bryson Fleming is rock solid. He doesn't get rattled by much. That's a big bucket. Spring Mills had just made a run, took their biggest lead of the game. You're able to throw it into him inside, and he gets an and one.
And if Fleming can knock down this shot, you just erased all the momentum that Spring Mills just gained by that three-pointer by Austin Davis.
Absolutely.
And typically, that's what the best teams do. And Fleming does just that.
That's what you want from your senior right there.
32-30, Spring Mills with 2 minutes and 55 seconds left in the third quarter.
I thought we might see this from Jefferson. They're going to do a little run and jump. Can't leave him open, though.
Austin Davis misses off the back line. Jamari Jenkins quickly up to the court to Jaden Gladney. He pulls up for 3. Splash! Jaden Gladney's first 3 of the game, and Jefferson quickly regains the lead, 33-32. And that's good for any Jefferson fan to see Jaden Gladney finally get to see the ball go through the basket.
Yeah, they frustrated him a little bit tonight, going full deny on him and making him do other things. Yeah, you got to meet the pass right there.
And that's why Bryson Fleming is so special, and he's so important to the team. Jamari Jenkins, the beautiful pass to Bryson Fleming. He kicks it out to Jaden Gladney. He pump fakes. Gladney for three. And the ball rolls in. Splash! Jaden Gladney for three. And that's the thing about a shooter as well. And a shooter as confident as Jaden Gladney is, he's never going to stop shooting.
No, and from coaching against him, he's one of the streakiest. Like when he gets going, the basket becomes very large to him. So as soon as that first one went in, I knew it was going to be lights out.
And once again, Spring Mills fouls on a three-point shot, and Jefferson gets the ball again.
Yeah, that's really hurting them. Some small mental mistakes, as well as and as good as the game plan has been for Spring Mills. Little things like that have really hurt them, and they've been in key moments.
This could turn into a 4, 5, 6-point possession.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Beautiful pass to Dan Taylor. He pump fakes. Kicks the ball to Jamari Jenkins. Back to Dan Taylor. And a foul on number 4, Caleb Robinson. And right there, Jefferson played a little bit of Spring Mills' game where they forced Spring Mills to make a foul based off of being a little bit impatient. 36-32 Jefferson. Jaden Gladney with the ball at the top of the key. He quickly loses the ball, but he regains it back to Cameron Johnson at the top of the key. And Jefferson has slowed it down.
I'd like to see Jefferson get a set here and try to get Gladney freed up. He just hit 2 in a row. Try to get your shooter another shot.
Or penetration in a dish for an easy basket to make Spring Mills pay. Cameron Johnson with a step back. A strong rebound by Deion Taylor. Up and for 2. Jefferson with the 6-point lead. And that's what Jefferson can do to you. They can score in bunches.
Absolutely.
And Spring Mills took the 32-27 lead. And within a minute and 35 seconds, Jefferson scores 11 points.
And that's a response by a good team, and that's what you expect from a good team. You knew they were going to make a run at some point.
And we'll stay here and get some more expert knowledge from a great coach and a coach that I admire. Ryan, what is something that now Spring Mills has to adjust to that can get them back in this game and potentially regain the lead?
So I thought it was a good timeout by Coach Samples. Obviously, Jefferson makes a little bit of a run. A couple things. One, Spring Mills has been denying Gladney the whole game, not letting him get shots. You let him get open on the wing for 2, and he made you pay. So that's just a mental lapse a little bit. The foul obviously hurt them, some mental mistakes. Not boxing out someone you know is going to crash Deion Taylor. So really, it's self-inflicted wounds by Spring Mills. Not that Jefferson doesn't have to make them pay for it, but these are all things that are fixable in that timeout.
And Deion has made powerful rebounds tonight. And that's the thing about Deion Taylor is, there's some people who will say, sometimes he plays a little bit slightly out of control, but he does so many things that you can't teach. He has so much heart. He's never tired. He's willing. He's a willing rebounder, and I just hope that at the next level, someone will take their chance on getting a player who will do anything to win the game.
Yeah, you're willing to live with some of Deion's mistakes because he does all those other things you're talking about.
Jalen Franklin up for 3. He fouls his shot.
You can tell Spring Mills is trying to be really patient. Otherwise, Jalen Franklin would have shot that ball right there. And I think it's a good game plan.
But it was a good ball movement and a good offensive play. I was at timeout, and Jalen Franklin attacks the basket, but he shoots a little too hard. Cameron Johnson with the rebound, out to Jaden Gladney. He pulls up for 3. Splash! Jaden Gladney for 3. And Jaden Gladney has not shot the ball well, but he has 11 points.
Yeah, shooters are gonna do that. Like he saw one go in, and the basket looks a lot bigger to him right now. He's in a zone, locked in.
And this is what happens when you have a team as offensively talented as Jefferson, is you could be in the game and they can quickly shoot you out the game.
Absolutely. And it's really like, and I know that's hard because Jefferson's run so fast in transition and you got Gladney spotting up on the wing, but when a shooter like that gets going, you just can't. You got to know where he's at all times. And correct me if I'm wrong. I think he's got 9 this quarter, 9 of his 11.
He has 9 points this quarter.
Yeah, when he gets going, he's tough to stop.
And he's been a sniper since middle school.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. He was a kid that could shoot it from 4 or 5 feet behind the line as a 6th and 7th grader.
Yeah.
So you knew he was going to be special. I really like the substitution that Coach Lewis just made right here. Getting Jamari Jenkins out. Don't want to pick him up that 4th foul with 28 seconds left. Get Cam Johnson a break in case he's got to go the rest of the way. That's a really good substitution.
And that's what I was about to say. And it's actually something that my father said this weekend when we talked about the game, that, you take some of your good players out of the game who might not get a lot of time on the bench. You take them out at the end of the quarter, you can buy them 2 to 3 minutes.
Absolutely, and that's one thing we tried to do this year. Josiah King and Chet Gore, obviously 2 of our main guys, and they didn't come out of the game a lot, but we tried to get them out at the ends or beginnings of quarters. So like you said, you can steal a couple minutes here or there. And Jefferson going on this run, even if Spring Mills comes down a bucket here, you're still probably going to take a lead into the 4th to get 2 of your main guys back in the game.
And you go down 5, and within a minute and a half, you're up 9. And that has to be a little bit demoralizing for Spring Mills.
It is, and they've played so well all game long, but a lot of times what you see when you have a good team by Jefferson.
Beautiful pass by Jalen Franklin.
That one might settle them back down a little bit. They needed a bucket where they ran their offense and did that. It's going to be key here to get a defensive stop going into this 4th quarter.
Yeah, because you don't want Jefferson to have the momentum going into the 4th quarter. Deion Taylor with the step back jump shot. He's off. And Jefferson will go into the 4th quarter with a 41-34 lead. Guys, we have a great game. Came home from Home Team Sports with my co-host, Ryan Miller, and cameraman, Harry Brown. We'll go to commercial break.
Having a family dinner, cookout, or company event and don't feel like cooking? How about you let HG's Barbecue and Soul Food Catering handle all your catering needs? We have everything from smoked meats to soul food sides, everything made from scratch just for your event. Please contact us at 816-438-1101 or visit our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/HG's Barbecue and Catering. We gladly serve the Eastern Panhandle and DMV areas.
And we're back at Spring Mills High School. Team homes with Home Team Sports TV. You can follow us at Home Team Sports TV on YouTube with my co-host Ryan Miller and cameraman Harry Brown. Ryan, when we took that quick commercial, we just spoke about the importance of never losing track of your team's shooters. And Jaden Gladney made them pay with a quick 9 points, and now 9 of his 11. And Jefferson has a 7-point lead going into the 4th quarter. Yeah,
they've done a great job, and credit to Max Anderson, who's just a freshman. You can see he walks over to him right now. Like, he's done a good job on him all game, but just a couple mental lapses. One got Jaden Gladney going, and now the floodgates kind of opened up on him.
Yeah. And Max Anderson has really taken it upon himself.
That's a tough call on Bryson Fleming right there.
To play great defense on Jaden Gladney.
Oh, they got that one on Max Anderson. That's a tough ask on him, too. So Jefferson used what's called an Iverson screen right there to try to free Gladney up over the top of 2 to kind of get him ISO'd on the wing. And Max Anderson's doing his best to fight over, but that's a tough ask.
And you would think they kind of use his emotion, because his coach probably implored to him the importance of playing Jaden Gladney close. And, they pretty much got him into a foul. Wyatt Shively attacks the basket up strong. The ball is off the back end, but Wyatt Shively will go to the line shooting 2. And that's the aggressiveness that you said that you want to see from Wyatt Shively initially when he shot that one fadeaway floater.
Yeah, absolutely. Wyatt's a strong kid. The more he can finish going towards the rim, just like he did right there, even if he doesn't make the shot, 90% of the time it's going to be a foul. Where he goes to the line where he's a pretty good free throw shooter.
Wyatt Shively makes the first. So he breaks the seal off of the rim for the 4th quarter. Wyatt Shively with 3 points. Quietly sinks the second. Jefferson with the 43-34 lead with 7.5 minutes left in the 4th quarter. Now, this actually takes Spring Mills out of what they really want to do and be impatient. Long arms by Jalen Franklin, but he misses. Rebound by Deion Taylor, the point guard, with his 7th rebound of the game. A beautiful pass to Bryson Fleming, and Jefferson has its first double-digit lead of the game.
See, this is where I think Spring Mills is really missing Caleb Thomas tonight. If you could have him in the middle and maybe Jalen Franklin underneath, where Caleb maybe handles the ball a little bit better, more comfortable in that role, I think it could do a lot for Spring Mills.
And the crazy thing about it is Jalen Franklin has been hard to keep off the board, so if you combine him with the Caleb Thomas, man, they're very tough and they're very long. Jane Glad with the steal, up and in. And a quick 6 points by Jefferson has Jefferson up 47-34 over Spring Mills. And this is where, as a coach, when having a young team, you want to reel them back in. You know, even if the game has slightly gotten a little bit out of hand, you want to make sure they compete to the final buzzer so they can go into this game. They can go home feeling good about, you know, how they played today, and use that confidence going forward for their game next week versus Martinsburg.
Yeah, absolutely. If I'm in a timeout right now and I'm Coach Samples, I'm going to tell them, like, look, we got to get back to what we were doing in the first 2.5 quarters that got us to where we were. They've kind of gotten out of that a little bit. And like you said, you're almost going to have to get out of this a little bit. But I think you got to stick to your game plan, especially when you have a young group. Like you said, get some momentum trying to come out of this game leading into the sectional play next week. Yeah,
because you don't want this game to get out of hand and end up 63-40 or 63-38, and it looked like you got blown out the gym when you really didn't. You know, you had a 5-point lead late in the third quarter, so you want to win, obviously, but you also want to make sure you maintain the integrity of the game.
Absolutely. Spring Mills has played great all game long. Like, they've executed the game plan. Other than this little, 5-minute stretch we're on right now, like, they've played as well as they could have. They just fell asleep a few times, and one thing led to another that's got them in the hole that they're in right now. You just got to get back to what you were doing at first. Break the press, be aggressive when you first do it, and if you don't get anything, slow it down, try to get the ball to the middle.
And, Ryan, what you said was a word that I want to use. Execution.
Yes.
You want to make sure that you continue to execute until the final buzzer. And Keyshawn Cheek attacks the basket. Rebound by number 4, Caleb Robinson, and he's going to the line to shoot 2.
I tell you what, that's got to make Coach Samples feel really good there. We coming out, you get a hustle play like that. You know your team hasn't quit. That feels really good as a coach.
And that's what we just spoke about. You know, compete to the final buzzer, keep the game close, keep the game respectable. And you never know what can happen at that point in time.
Absolutely.
And he sinks the free throw. Robinson with 7 points. And Cameron Johnson in for Jamari Jenkins. And Jenkins getting instructions from Tech. It's been a rough one for Jamari. He has 4 fouls. He hasn't been able to get going on the offensive end. And this is something that, you know, as a fan and as, you know, his father Troy and his mother Carmen, you know, they want to see this. They want to see how he bounces back after a rough performance.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, he's only a freshman. This isn't going to be the only bad game of his life. I can guarantee you that. It's going to speak highly of how Jamari acts coming off of this game. If he bounces back with a big-time performance, you're going to know what kind of mental makeup he has and what kind of mental makeup I think he has.
And a hop step by Cameron Johnson for 2. And we've seen Jamari in very tough games and intense games. He will bounce back.
Absolutely. He's a very mentally tough kid who's been through a lot of situations, not only with middle school basketball, but on the AAU circuit as well, that he's not going to dwell on this one. He's going to bounce back.
And then beautiful pass. And then Caleb Robinson with a quick 9 points. Jaden Gladney stops the turnover, but he quietly steps out of bounds. And the score is 49-39 with 5.5 minutes left. Spring Mills is competing. They're playing hard, and they're a very well-coached team. I mean, the coach has actually designed plays that have gotten them 2 easy baskets and going to the line to shoot 2.
Yeah, absolutely. I like that they haven't gotten out of their game plan right now. Some people would have, you know, ran around, tried to trap a little bit, but that plays right into Jefferson's hands. You got to keep this game as close as you can for as long as you can. 2 free throws here, you're back down to single digits, and you never know what could happen.
And Franklin misses the first.
I think when Spring Mills looks back on this game and sees all the free throws they left on the table, they're going to be a little bit frustrated with the result.
They're down 10. And they're like 4 for 17 from the line.
Yeah, that's frustrating. I mean, you make half of those misses, it's a completely different game right now.
And he misses them both.
And you can tell Coach Samples is frustrated. Unfortunately, again, as a coach, your hands are tied on that one. You can't go shoot free throws for him.
And Ryan, I guarantee you, Darren Massenberg, splash for 3. Ryan, I guarantee you tomorrow, when we both pick up the newspaper and we get to see what Coach Sampson says about the game, I guarantee you the first thing he's going to talk about is the missed free throws.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's definitely been the biggest factor, without a doubt. They've done, other than that, really only fallen asleep on Gladney a couple times. You can really point to the free throws as the biggest factor in this game for sure.
And as fans of Spring Mills, you know, you watch a game like this and you think, you can't help but think of how bright their future is.
Absolutely. Like I said earlier, they don't have a senior on the team. A lot of your more important players are freshmen. You got a couple nice sophomores. Everyone will be back. So this is, as great as this year's been, they've set their school record in wins. This has been a building year for them as much as anything.
And have they built? They've built a team that everyone will look forward to watching over the next few years. And also Jefferson.
Yes, absolutely. Jefferson's young as well. I mean, you do lose some key pieces. You lose Cam Johnson. You lose Dayon Taylor. But you got a lot of young players coming up. Some kids on the JV team that can go be productive next year. Kids coming up from middle school that can probably be productive for you right away. So there's a bright future in Jefferson for sure.
And Jaden Gladney has taken over this game. And Jefferson quietly takes a 16-point lead with 4 minutes and 36 seconds left in the second half. So we have a 30. Ryan, you know, obviously we talked about how you really can't stop a shooter from shooting. How impressed are you with Jaden Gladney's performance in the second half?
You know, honestly, the most important, I think the most important thing as a coach is he never stopped shooting, and his mental toughness. It was tough on him in the first half. They've been denying him every time he's in the game all over the floor. That can be frustrating, especially for a kid who's only a sophomore. But he's just stuck with it, and that's a credit to him. You got to grind some games out. And like I told you, once he saw one go in the rim, it's been lights out for him.
Yeah, in the second half, Jaden has scored 13 points. And this game has been a tale of the two halves, which will make it tough for the player of the game because in the first half, Cameron Johnson kept Jefferson afloat because no one else in that first half really, you know, had their offensive rhythm. And, you know, he actually helped lead them to a 1-point lead. And in the second half, Jaden Gladney has just busted the game open.
Yeah, absolutely. He's the one that's basically got them to where they're at right now.
Austin Davis for 3. He's off. And after his first 3 that he's made, I think he's missed his last 3. Jalen Franklin for 2.
It's a good pass by Keyshawn Cheek. Austin Davis was a little bit off balance there. His footwork wasn't quite the same as the first half. I think that's what caused the miss.
Dayon Taylor attacks the basket. Up strong, and he will go to the line shooting 2. And like you said, Ryan, you know, that the better matchup for Jefferson is Dayon Taylor on Keyshawn Cheek because not only does he force him to play at the same physicality, Dayon is a little bit quicker than any guard that I've seen in this Eastern Panhandle.
Yeah, for sure. And it's just the experience, you know, playing varsity basketball. This is his 4th year playing. He understands. He's gotten stronger.
Angles.
He's got a little bit more size on him as compared to Jamari Jenkins. So I think that's bothered Keyshawn Cheek a little bit.
Yeah, he attacks angles, and once he gets to that perfect angle, he explodes, and he's by you.
Yes, absolutely. He's an explosive athlete.
And Dayon Taylor makes both shots. And Darian Massenberg, when he comes into the game, he gives you everything he has, and he's very disruptive on defense. I think Darian Massenberg was a product of Wildwood as well.
He was. Darian was actually my first year as the varsity coach. Darian was an 8th grader. So we had Darian. He played a very similar role for me that he's doing for Jefferson. He comes in, he's a defensive stopper. They got a 3 from him earlier, which is bonus points because that's not really Darian's game. Not that he can't do it, but that's not really his role on the team. So that's bonus points for Jefferson. And
Jalen Franklin takes his first seat on the bench. I've been really impressed with Jalen Franklin. And Jaden Gladney for 3. Splash! Jaden Gladney has busted his game open. Jefferson up 19.
Yeah, I'll tell you, Keem, as a shooter right now, the basket looks about 3 times the size as it actually is for Jaden. He's seeing a big rim right now.
I mean, that last shot, he actually shot it actually moving at an angle.
Yeah, absolutely. But that's the type of kid he is. He's such a good shooter. He doesn't always have to have his feet set perfectly.
Yeah, his feet weren't even set, and he still managed to get his balance in the unorthodox position and sink the three. And Caleb Robinson quickly attacks the basket and physically draws a foul on Bryson Fleming. This will be his fourth. This is starting to become a trend, though, that I think that Jefferson will have to make an adjustment on. Is Bryson Fleming and Jamari Jenkins always being in foul trouble? They typically end a lot of games with 4 fouls.
Yeah, I would like to see maybe them hide a little bit, maybe both of those guys, or maybe get Bryson in and out a little bit more. I know Bryson's a defensive stopper, and you want him guarding one of their best players. I would like to see Dayon take maybe the best guard they have.
Yeah.
Because I think Jamari's the kind of guy, like, you need him in the game right now to just kind of settle things down as a point guard. We know Dayon can do it, but Dayon likes to get up and down a little bit, where Jamari's got kind of that sense about him to know when to go and when to stop things.
Yeah.
So.
And Caleb Robinson misses 2 free throws, and this, I guarantee you at practice tomorrow, they're probably going to spend a whole hour on free throw shooting.
That's the first thing, and when Luke Samples gets in the locker room with his team, he's going to say, listen, fellas, if we just make free throws at even a decent percentage, this is a completely different basketball game.
Yes. I mean, because the game is 19 right now, but this wasn't like a 19-point blowout type of game. The game was close. They just got blitzed by Jaden Gladney.
Absolutely. The score does not tell the story of this game.
I mean, with Jaden Gladney, he has 2 more years left. Oh, great move by Keyshawn Cheek with the floater up and in. And it's good to see Keyshawn bounce back from that first game. The first game from Jefferson, you could tell he was slightly flustered. In this game, he's come back and said, you know what? I've been one of the best players in this area all year, and I'm going to show you guys who I am.
Yeah, for sure. I think, like you said, having played, and maybe that first game was a level of athleticism he hadn't seen yet. Yes. But because Jefferson they present a whole lot of problems with their length and athleticism at all 5 positions.
Yes.
And I think that maybe bothered Keyshawn a little bit, but he's had a nice floor game today. He's really been rock solid for them. Jefferson's done a good job of taking away some of his scoring and making other people beat them, which I said was a key to the game going in. They've done a nice job of that.
And I look forward to seeing Will Shavely get back for Jefferson as well, because I think that also has contributed to Jamari and Bryson, being in foul trouble. Playing players maybe that they might not have to guard, with having a 6'3" Will Shavely out there. So it'll be very important for Jefferson's state title aspirations to get Will Shavely healthy again.
Yeah, he's definitely about as important to them as anybody.
Yes.
Not only just them having to guard other positions, but just playing more minutes. Bryson's playing a role that he wasn't playing at the beginning of the year, playing extra minutes. Jamari's obviously in the game to handle the ball. Will can take a little bit of pressure off both those guys.
Yes. And Keyshawn Cheek quickly up the court. The shot was blocked by Dayon Taylor, but a little too much body will send Keyshawn to the line shooting 2. And I'm excited about this. I want to see Keyshawn sink these 2 like he did the last time. And he missed the first.
Yeah, I mean, Keyshawn's a great free throw shooter. He was just struggling a little bit in the first half. And once he missed the first couple, I think it got in his mental makeup a little bit. It was a great reset by him at halftime and a good bounce back.
And that's why I said I want to see him make it, because this is like a testament for kids to watch just how he mentally adjusted. And he didn't shy away from the free throw line. He stepped up in the second half and sank all 4 of his free throws. And I just enjoyed watching Keyshawn.
That's a tough call on Jamari Jenkins right there. You don't see that called a lot, particularly when it doesn't affect the flow of the game like that. Not that it wasn't a carry, but you just don't see that one called too often.
Yeah, and it's been a little bit of a frustrating game for Jamari, but this will be a game that he'll watch with his father and watch with the coach, and they'll make the adjustment.
I tell you, sometimes players need games like this. It kind of wake him up a little bit, knowing the kind of kid he is. It'll wake him up, and he'll bounce back next game.
And look at that effort by Keyshawn Cheek.
Yeah, he's got no quit in him.
60-47 Jefferson with 13-point lead with 1 minute and 19 seconds left in the fourth quarter. The ball to Wyatt Shavely. He attacks the basket. Fouled by number 22, Austin Davis. Going to the line to shoot 2. One thing I can also say about this Spring Mills team that maybe with some talent coming up from the middle school team that had a successful season, is the varsity team will gain a little bit of depth. You know, I think they might have went 6 deep today. And that's all.
Yeah, they only play 6 guys. The other guys don't even have their shooting shirts off. That's where missing Caleb Thomas, I think, really hurts him today. The depth part, you could tell they were gassed at times trying to chase, especially Max Anderson trying to chase Jaden Gladney all over. Jalen Franklin crashing the glass like he was. Like, it's exhausting on players.
Yeah. And that's something that will be also built over time as they age and their bodies physically mature. They'll get in better physical condition.
Yeah, 100%.
Strong move by Jarrell Casey.
Spring Mills is going to be a team to watch going into next year. Like you said, adding some pieces from the middle school level, everybody back. It's going to be an interesting team.
They will. I mean, can you really go into next season and say that there's a team in the Eastern Panhandle that's better than them?
I don't think so. Like, obviously Jefferson's going to have a lot of key pieces back, but they're also going to miss some.
Yeah.
You know, Musselman loses a lot of their key guys. Martinsburg loses some key guys. I think Spring Mills is going to be a team to be reckoned with for several years to come with a nice freshman core with Caleb Thomas and Keyshawn Cheek. And Max Anderson's played well tonight.
And his brother Xavier at the middle school level was pretty tough. Pretty big, too. So they're going to – so that's another additional player with great size.
Right, yeah. He's going to bring a different element to them and somebody that can probably relieve Jalen Franklin some minutes, him and Caleb Thomas coming off the bench. Tyler Jones is another one who can really shoot the basketball. So, I think it'll be – I think they're going to be a force to be reckoned with.
And it's just going to be interesting as Jefferson reloads as well. Just to see this matchup potentially turn into a rivalry.
Yeah, for sure. These are two of the brighter futures. Obviously, we had a good season at Wildwood. You got 3 kids going over there, at 4 if Tyon Jacobs decides to play basketball. But I think definitely 2 kids that can help you right away. And I wouldn't sleep on Tykeem Drake either. He's a tough kid who can provide a lot of things to a basketball team that we talked about earlier that you need. So I think the future's bright for both of these teams. Like you said, maybe a budding rivalry.
Yeah. I mean, I know, like, for the Wildwood game, when we had the Wildwood versus Spring Mills game, it was a game that the kids really got up for, both JV and Varsity. And fortunately for Wildwood fans, it was emphatic victories for them. But we all realize that it's not a year-by-year basis. When you get to high school, you're playing players that could be 3 to 4 if you got held back 5 years older than you.
Absolutely.
So it's not just your age group.
Yeah. There's going to be a lot to be said about these seniors on the Spring Mills team next year because a lot of these guys are juniors. You look at Austin Davis, Jalen Franklin. They're all back for one more year.
Yeah. So we have the end of the game with the Jefferson High School Cougars 65 and the Spring Mills Cardinals 51. We want to thank you guys for watching. We'll go to a quick commercial break and we'll come back for our post-game analysis and our DK ranking Modern Realty results player of the game.
Meet Cheryl Yates at ERA Liberty Realty. With over 30 years of experience, Cheryl provides each of her clients with the best level of customer service, along with helping families with the next phase of their life. The buying and selling process comes natural to Cheryl, as her understanding of the housing market allows her the ability to answer any questions that may arise. With offices in both Jefferson and Berkeley counties, she works hard to ensure the outcome you deserve. Cheryl is the key to selling or buying your home.
And we're back at Spring Mills where we have the Jefferson High School Cougars 65, the Spring Mills Cardinals 51. We will break down the stats, the post-game stats. We have Keyshawn Cheek for Spring Mills with 14 points. We have Jarrell Carey from Spring Mills with 4 points. Caleb Robinson with 9 points. Jalen Franklin with 10 points. And Austin Davis with 14 points. For the Jefferson High School Cougars, you have Jaden Gladney with 15 points. Deion Taylor with 11 points. Cameron Johnson with 15 points. Jamari Jenkins with 2 points. Bryson Fleming with 7 points. Darion Massenberg with 3 points. And Wyatt Shively with 9 points. Now, in watching that game, that was a game that at Jefferson High School needed to have. They needed to be tested. They needed to be challenged. They needed some of their younger players to be challenged. And speaking with Ryan, Spring Mills executed their plan to perfection. They just missed a lot of free throws. So, for all the kids at home, all the basketball players that are watching this game, it's important to get outside and get those shots up. You get those shots up, you get that muscle memory built, and a 15-point loss, 16-point loss, 17-point loss, and you miss 15 to 16 free throws could easily turn into a victory. Now, right now, due to being away and a coach, having his players in the locker room, we unfortunately are not being able to interview Jaden Gladney. And we understand as a team that's competing for a state championship run, after a game where, they made a lot of mental mistakes, that the coach will want to make sure that he talks to all players about, what can be done, what can be improved on. But our DK ranking realty player of the game is Jaden Gladney. Jaden Gladney took the game over in the second half. In the second half, Jaden Gladney scored 13 of his 15 points. And it was beautiful to watch. And we're going to be rejoined by Ryan Miller now. And Ryan, Jaden has been a player that you had to deal with in middle school for years. And what was most impressive about Jaden's performance?
I think just his stick-to-itiveness, if I may. He did a good job. They frustrated him in the first half. They put a man on him. They face guarded him. Played the full denial defense on him, and it took away his jump shots a little bit. In the second half, he did a good job playing off of his teammates a little bit and getting freed up for some shots. And like I said, once he saw one go in the rim, it was a wrap.
And what Jefferson did in that third quarter, to blow the game open is what you said. They started playing team ball. The ball movement. You didn't see a lot of one-on-one players trying to break each other down. They actually created for each other, and then Jaden Gladney just caught fire. And next thing you know, a 32-27 game with 2 minutes and 15 seconds left in the third quarter turned into a double-digit deficit within minutes.
Yeah, he really took the roof off of the place when he started making shots, and the lead just ballooned, and other guys fed off him as well. And that's what you want out of one of the leaders of your team. When somebody like that catches fire, sometimes it has a ripple-down effect on everybody, and that's exactly what happened tonight.
And interviewing Jaden on Saturday, he said that the senior leadership has been so important to him, and that was Cam Johnson tonight. The team came out and they were struggling early. They weren't getting, they were missing easy layups. I mean, I think we talked about as much Spring Mills missed free throws, Jefferson missed easy layups. And fortunately for them, Cameron Johnson had 11 of his 15 points in the first half. So it was kind of a tale of two halves, and we could have went either way with the player of the game, but we tend to go for the player that had the biggest impact on the game. And that had to be Jaden Gladney for what he did in the second half.
Yes, absolutely.
So Ryan, going forward, if you're in that Spring Mills locker room, what are you telling your team right now?
I think game plan wise, I thought they executed pretty well. I mean, obviously the free throws kind of let things slip away from them. If they make a lot of their free throws in the first half, that lead in the second half doesn't look quite as bad, and maybe it's a completely different game. But I think game plan wise, they executed well. They had one of their key guys out. I think there's some small adjustments and some actually, I'm not one of those coaches. It's, you would obviously much rather win the game, but this loss isn't as big of a deal maybe. Like we said in the pregame, they already know who they're playing next week. This loss doesn't drop them down any farther, doesn't send them to a different stadium. They know they have to go to Martinsburg, and I think they can take some things from this game and build off of it.
And I think that what the viewers will realize is the game was different because both teams have lost very integral players, with Will Shively missing from Jefferson, who played the first game, and Caleb Thomas. Now you got to see that how important those players were to both teams, as the quality of the game wasn't the same.
Yeah, absolutely. Both those teams certainly missed him. I honestly, Spring Mills has been playing without Will. I'm sorry, Jefferson's been playing without Will for a while now. So maybe they were a little more used to it. Where Spring Mills, this is the first game that Caleb has been out. So it was interesting to see the adjustments they made. I thought a couple guys really stepped up for them. I thought Jalen Franklin played a good game for the most part. Max Anderson stepped into a role that maybe he's not normally played, but I thought he played great defense. Obviously, his offensive numbers weren't quite there, but he's only a freshman. He did what you expected of him tonight. So again, I thought Spring Mills played really well considering who they were missing.
And he covered Jaden Glandy well for the majority of the game. It was really just that, it was a huge spurt in the third quarter. And Jaden Glandy ended up having 7 also in the fourth quarter. Man, this kid, he's a lights-out shooter. He's a pleasure to watch. Jaden's a pleasure to watch. And, just like with Keyshawn, I want to go back to this. Keyshawn missed 7 straight free throws to start the game, and he went to the line in the third and fourth quarter, and you would have never known that he struggled in the first half.
Yeah, absolutely. That showed great mental toughness by him. Both players, Gladney and Cheek, had some struggles in the first half, and were able to reset at halftime and come back out and look like different kids. So that was really good to see.
And yeah, I mean, I really wasn't thinking about it, but true. Jaden Gladney had a similar plight in the first half. No shots would fall for him.
Yep.
And their mental toughness and their confidence, it never wavered. And that's what the better players do. Like there's some players that if they come out and they start playing well, they'll be fine for the whole game. But if they come out and they play bad, they're bad for the whole game. You got to see 2 players that trusted the work they put in and trusted who they were as basketball players. And they changed the trajectory of their team. Unfortunately for Spring Mills, it was a little too late. But for Jefferson and Jaden Gladney, it was what the doctor ordered.
Yes, absolutely. It was the coach in me was really proud of those 2 kids tonight.
Yeah, and Ryan, I asked you what you would say in the Spring Mills locker room. For the Jefferson coach, if you're Jefferson's coach, what would you say to your players?
The first thing I would do is tell them congratulations for sticking this one out and getting a big win. The next thing I would do is tell them that they needed a game like this. Like you said, a lot of games haven't been tests for them. This was definitely a test, and it was a big one.
So now Jaden he's changed. He's out of the locker room, and he's coming up to join us. I look forward to talking to this young man who will actually get his second Home Team Sports TV Player of the Game. Jaden, you're the first time double man. Right? Luckily, so far, every single game, someone else has taken over and stepped up and shined. But these last 2 games, it's been you. And, we looked at it in the first half where Cameron Johnson kind of, helped carry the team, keep the team into the game. But in the second half, it was a Jaden Gladney show. You blitzed them. We talked about how confident and good players, even when they struggle, never lose their confidence.
Mm-hmm.
How did you maintain your confidence after your shooting struggles in the first half?
Just didn't get in my head. Usually I be when I'm off, I be in my head. This time I just didn't let it affect me. They tried to run the box and one. I didn't let that affect me. I just stayed on. We went into the locker room and Tech was on us. I'm not gonna lie, he was on us. He was on our tails. And we went out. I told them ball movement is gonna win the game. Can't play selfish. We went out and executed.
Yes, Jaden. And Jaden, you know, I've actually seen you grow from, you know, a little kid, you know, to now. And, you know, let's be real. You know, when you was younger, you was fiery, a little fireball.
Yeah.
And for you to come out and say that, hey, Coach was honest. And before, you might have gotten down and a little upset. Now, you respect what your coach is telling you. You told the team, hey, the way we're going to win this game is if we use each other. And it was beautiful to watch, and it was beautiful to watch the confidence and Jaden, you know, it's been a pleasure to watch you grow.
Thank you.
More importantly, off the court and mentally as a man, which is now taking you to another level on the court.
I appreciate that.
So, Jaden, you know, obviously you've seen the adjustments that Spring Mills made, and you know going forward you're going to be playing against teams that have already seen you guys twice.
Yeah.
You know, what is something that you guys are going to work on? You know, obviously Friday versus Bradford and Christian Academy, which will be on Home Team Sports TV, but as well as next week when you guys start sectional play.
I would say our second chance shots, fast break points. We get the turnover. Like this game, we got a lot of steals and stuff, and we didn't capitalize on them. So I feel like we got to work on capitalizing on the turnovers.
And that's a sign of maturity, you know. And obviously, you know, you have Washington versus Musselman in that first game. And Musselman, you know, outside of this game right here, has probably played you guys tougher than any team. And with it being your third game against them, obviously, you know, it can go either way. What is something that you guys can do as players and teammates with each other to make sure that you guys maintain your confidence and your momentum? Because today, I felt like you guys might have came out a little bit and been complacent because you guys beat them by 40 the last time. Would you say that occurred, or was it more of a testament to Spring Mills?
I feel like we came out lackadaisical because we thought we was going to come out and just beat them by 40 again because we already did it. And that was obviously not right. So, yeah, that's really it.
And it's a lesson learned, you know. And right now, like I say, with you guys being, you know, freshmen and sophomores, you know, a couple seniors sprinkled in, those type of games can happen. But it's just a lesson, you know, that we all learn lessons throughout life, and you guys will learn more lessons as you become adults. But in athletic life, you realize you always have to respect your opponents, and obviously going forward, that's something you will do. But Jaden, you know, it was a pleasure to watch you. This is your second time. You know, your DK ranking player of the game. I look forward to seeing all those shared posts.
Thank you.
You being a player of the game. But Jaden, congratulations.
Thank you.
And good luck going forward.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
We will also have an interview with the winning coach, Richard Lewis. 2 minutes. Yeah. All right, we're back. We're back with Richard Lewis, winning coach. Jefferson would go to 19-0. Richard, they're talking to Jaden. He said at halftime, he said, "Yeah, coach, kind of dug in us a little bit." What were you seeing that kind of frustrated you?
Just lack of intensity, lack of effort. I thought defensively wasn't really dialed in like we were, especially the first time we played them. Though we had a chip on our shoulder the first time, this time I don't think we came out with that chip on our shoulder. So I'm trying to make sure they understand, like, we got to act like we 0-19. We don't have time to act like we 19-0. So, I think the other day in practice I said the same thing. So I hope they got the message again, because I feel like we coming into practice like we 19-0. You know what I mean? So we got to be hungry.
And that's what me and Ryan, I said this in the third quarter. When you guys watch the game, watch the replay on Home Team Sports TV or YouTube, you will hear me say, it seems like they came out a little lackadaisical thinking that they were just going to blow them away. And then Spring Mills brought the intensity, and your kids found yourself in a dogfight. And then Jaden Gladney, he started shooting the lights out, and he had 9 points in the third quarter, another 7 points in the fourth quarter. And that's what makes you guys dangerous. Any given night, someone can shoot the lights out and take a team out.
Yeah, I told you, it's funny because I told Jaden yesterday, I was like, every time Spring Mills plays us, they always take somebody away.
Yes.
I don't know who that's going to be, but I said, I think it's going to be you. So I said, you got to make sure you just taking your time, don't get frustrated, because they got one guy on you that's basically like almost a boxing one, but they're playing man-to-man, so he's just worried about shutting him down. So you just got to just play your game, relax, don't get frustrated, and play your game. So I thought second half he actually dialed in a little bit and just relaxed and played offensively, let the game come to him, because in transition we found him a couple times. I thought freed him up. Then he got a steal, got a layup. That's one thing I said at halftime. You got to do other things besides just hoping you're going to score and shoot the ball. So I think second half he came out and did all those things.
And the beauty of having this platform now is most people when they watch you coach, they see you calm. They really don't. They never really see you show your emotions on the bench. So to have Jaden and to hear Jaden say, hey, nah, coach came in and he dug in us a little bit. That's what the viewers don't see. They think calmness, and they see it sometimes as a lack of passion, but your players know how passionate you are about the game. You just show it at the right time. As a family, you do it in-house. Mm-hmm. You don't try to show them up on the court. And that was something that actually impressed me when he said that. Like, how do you keep that calm? Knowing that you're probably bubbling up inside of some of the mistakes that the players are making.
It just goes from playing, man. My playing days, I was the same way. Just making sure you're calm, but you're intense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're not going to get anything over the top, no technical fouls. We're not going to do anything outrageous, but you got to make sure when it's time to bring that intensity, know when to bring it. And I try to like you said, I try to do things in practice. I don't think the game's the time to yell at kids. I think they need to be calm. They need to be focused on the game plan and the task at hand. So I don't know if yelling at them during the middle of a game is going to help them perform better. But overall, I think I should have to do that. I think we got a group that's really focused. It's just I think at times we just need to make sure we're not letting that record get to our head.
And you guys are one win away against Bryant Forden Christian Academy. If you guys can get that victory of having, I want to say Jefferson's first undefeated regular season.
Yep.
So from Home Team Sports TV, Richard, we want to say congratulations, and obviously you don't want to be complacent. You got to play the game. Good luck Friday, and be safe getting home.
Yeah, thanks a lot. See you all Friday. Thank you.
So from Home Team Sports TV, this is Akeem Holmes with my co-host Ryan Miller and the cameraman Harry Brown. Good night. God bless, and peace out.
Meet Cheryl Yates at ERA Liberty Realty. With over 30 years of experience, Cheryl provides each of her clients with the best level of customer service, along with helping families with the next phase of their life. The buying and selling process comes natural to Cheryl, as her understanding of the housing market allows her the ability to answer any questions that may arise. With offices in both Jefferson and Berkeley counties, she works hard to ensure the outcome you deserve. Cheryl is the key to selling or buying your home.
Dinner, cookout, or company event and don't feel like cooking? How about you let HG's Barbecue and Soul Food Catering handle all your catering needs? We have everything from smoked meats to soul food sides, everything made from scratch just for your event. Please contact us at 816-438-1101 or visit our Facebook page at www.facebook.com HG's Barbecue and Catering. We gladly serve the Eastern Panhandle and DMV areas.